I feel like a part of the gift was missing. Where was the prenup right there? In my notes here, I said, I think they're gonna get married. I think she's getting over his face. If I were Ben, I'd be tired at this point too. Then they go to bed and he farts. And that's pretty much the end of that date. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena. Today we are reviewing Love is Blind Season 8, Episode 12. This is the last episode before we get a final answer on some of these marriages. So let's get into it. In Episode 12, we see Taylor and Daniel, and honestly, it seems like they're the strongest couple so far. We don't see any type of issues. After that whole Instagram thing, we haven't seen or heard a peep about Daniel being a creep. I'm just kidding. Or just about any issues, to be honest. I think the last issue really was Taylor's mom's approval, and she gave Daniel her blessing. Really, that's it. Other than that, Taylor picked another dress because she had too much boobage in the first one. But yeah, they're doing well. It's actually Taylor's birthday, so they go ice skating. Taylor's pretty good. She mentioned that she used to ice skate, but that's really it. She mentioned practices. I wanted to know if you did competitions and stuff, because she was doing cool stuff. I would have liked to see a flip though, but it's okay. We also see them eating dinner in the middle of the ice, and that was cute. Or maybe it was lunch. They were talking about their day, and Taylor was saying how no one's ever made her breakfast in bed on her birthday. This might be an unpopular opinion. Let me know what you think, or if you agree with me, if you disagree with this statement. I think Daniel is probably the first person to treat her nicely in a relationship. So whether or not she's attracted to Daniel or not, I think she's leaning towards marrying him because this is the best love she's ever known. Just even with the things that he'll say, like, I'll come find you after Love is Blind if you decide to quit. If you have to leave the pods because your dad is sick, I'll come find you, she cries, which is still a very sweet thing. Maybe I'd cry, but that's my theory. However, I do think that they are a pretty strong, solid couple. Personally, I think they're gonna get married. Oh my gosh. In my notes here, I said, I think they're gonna get married. I think she's getting over his face. Daniel, I've never called you ugly, okay? Actually, I don't really comment about that kind of stuff, but I personally think that Taylor initially thought Daniel was ugly. If you have not seen that video on that, go check it out. They're doing well. We get to Monica and Joey. And keep in mind, all of the couples are going through their last dates before their Bachelor, Bachelorette parties, and then they don't see each other. And then it's the weddings. Monica and Joey go to the conservatory. Don't know the name of it, but it's in Minnesota. And growing up, Monica's been to this conservatory a lot. It is beautiful. Just that conservatory alone, it makes me want to go to Minnesota. So remember last episode, Joey was telling his boys during the suit and tux try-on, mentioning how Monica really wants to know where he's at. And they kind of talk about that in this date. This date has really good, healthy communication. Monica, in her confessional, was mentioning how she wants to see where Joey's at. She feels like she's not getting enough from him. She says she doesn't hear Joey say he's 100% in, so she's holding back. Which, part of me is like, girl, he cannot say that. I feel like there's some sort of contract in the Love is Blind contract where they can't say, hey, as a heads up, I'm 100% in, which means yes at the altar. I feel like there has to be some sort of nuance there, but I don't know. I don't know what Monica's looking for. Maybe Joey's not just telling her enough how much he loves her and that he is really serious about their relationship. I don't know what that means. They recap their pod dates. I think this is a really good conversation. They talk about what made them choose each other, and then they talk about love languages. Monica mentions how physical touch is one of her top love languages, and when they were in Honduras, she was comparing their affection to the other couples. Joey was like, have you noticed I've gotten better at that? And then Monica's like, yes, 100%. So that was nice to see. It seems like they've already talked about things that may be challenges in their relationship, and they've been working through them. I think they're gonna get married, but then again, I don't know. Because those reunion pictures came out and they're not matching, but that doesn't mean anything. I also wanted to note that Monica and Joey laugh a lot together too. And you know, in the beginning it could have just seemed more goofy like. If you're nervous meeting someone for the first time, so you kind of like laugh at everything. This time it seemed like they genuinely have good laughter and banter together, so I thought that was cute. Now we have Ben and Sara. Their date is in an igloo. They're talking about how they feel good about their future. Keep in mind, last episode, Sara went to Ben's church looking super bored. Sara says that she listened to a sermon from Ben's church while Ben was at work. It was about sexual identity. She says the service said, "Hey, if you're LGBT, we welcome you, but they still have traditional views." End quote. She asked Ben how he doesn't know their stance after going to the church for so long. As usual, Ben doesn't remember, but also, I feel like Sara was looking specifically for someone to say, "We accept LGBTQ+, they're welcome here. We support Black Lives Matter." I'm not saying that it's wrong that the church didn't have that out. I do think that Sara wanted that to slap her in the face. I think churches should support Black Lives Matter. Churches should welcome people of any color, shape, size. However, again, Sara's just using this as an excuse for performative activism. She also mentions that the service said affirmation doesn't equal love. And the example that was used was a 12-year-old kid coming to their parents about feeling like they're a different gender in a different body. The church compared that situation to a kid coming to their parents calling themselves fat and the parents saying, "No, you're not fat. Let's help you get the resources." I was kind of lost here after thinking about it a little bit more because Sara said she did not like that comparison. And I feel like there's a lot of things to unpack here. If you are comparing someone who is going to their parents, and she mentioned the 12, 13-year-old kid, going to their parents saying, "I feel like I'm a different gender and I'm in the wrong body," and you compare that to someone who is a 12 to 13-year-old kid, they are in a larger body and they tell their parents they're fat, and then the parents say, "No, you're not. Let's get you the resources. We love you." I feel like that's not the same. So I can see what Sara's saying on this. However, I'd like to know more information because I don't think I can fully comprehend what she was saying the sermon was saying, why she was so firm in saying, "I heard that one sermon, I'm not gonna go back." What do you guys think, and how did you interpret this scene? I really like to discuss and talk about it. I think a kid coming to their parents feeling like they're in a different body. I'm not a parent, but if I was, I would want to make sure that my child is in a safe environment to come to me. Number one, I want my child to feel loved and supported. And I would do the research and figure out what resources that my child would need for that support. I don't want to automatically say, "No, you're not." That's not what we're doing here. For the other situation, if my child came to me and said, "I'm fat, blah, blah, blah," I'm not automatically just gonna be like, "Okay, do you want to go work out with me?" That comparison was interesting overall. Sara was firm in saying that she's not going back to that church regularly, but she said she'll go back for a holiday or if she is going to go back with Ben and his family for a specific event. Let me know what you thought about this conversation. I think there was a lot of things left out in what Sara heard on that sermon. I didn't know necessarily the comparison. I think if a child who went to their parents telling them, "I feel like I am in a different gender, I feel like I'm in the wrong body," and this child is 12 to 13 years old, I wouldn't personally compare that to a child of the same age going to their parents and saying, "I am fat," and that's it. I don't know, but let me know what you interpreted down below. I wouldn't like that comparison either, but I feel like we're missing some information to fully assess and discuss that. I think all churches should support people of all communities, welcome people of all cultures, ethnicities. To be honest, that's just not the way it is. I'm not saying I'm fully on Sara's side. I'm not saying I'm fully on Ben's side. There's just some churches that make it known that they are welcoming. I think maybe Sara's asking for that to happen with this church, but I don't know. I highly doubt Sara is going to try to find another church with Ben to go to. I think personally Ben is set on his church, but really Ben just doesn't say anything. I feel like he just wants to just be there. I don't know. During their date in the igloo, Ben is kind of checked out because Sara brings up the values again and she asks, "Is there anything you want to ask me?" And then Ben's like, "Honestly, I'm just tired. I'd like to relax." Sara does talk about how she doesn't want to keep talking about the equality value. Then I think she should talk about Black Lives Matter again because you casually left that out. She also casually left out voting and that value, but then Ben responds and says, "It kind of minimizes the other values that we have in common and that we connect on." Sara agrees with that because the way that the show is edited, it's either the only time Sara talks, she's talking about her valuing her partner accepting LGBT in her words. If I were Ben, I'd be tired at this point too. Then they go to bed and he farts. And that's pretty much the end of that date. Now we have Virginia and Devin. They're on their last date. It's kind of like cutesy, him and Virginia in a carriage. Virginia says in her confessional that she and Devin have not talked about the prenup since she gave it to him. Just kind of waiting on that answer. They have this really nice dinner, and then Devin gives Virginia a really big gift. Keep in mind, this is his birthday week, so him giving her a gift, I'm like, wow, that's cute. Is it a prenup? It's one of those gifts that has 3 parts to it. So it's a big bag with tissue paper. The first thing is a basketball, and it's customized so it has their new last name together, which is Buckley. And that's pretty much it. Don't know why she needs that when she said that she's not very sporty, but you know, it's the thought that counts, right? Then he gives her 2 jerseys, a jersey for Devin and a jersey for Virginia, and it says Team Buckley on it, which is their last name or soon to be last name if they get married. And then also 18. I guess their wedding date would be March 18th. That was cute. I thought it was sweet. I think part of me just felt weird about it. She was so grateful. She said, "Thank you so much. I love it." Gave him kisses. However, I don't necessarily think that was a gift for Virginia specifically, like a thought out gift. I think it was just stuff that he likes. I'm guilty of doing this, you guys. I've given gifts before where there are things I've liked, but I've gotten better at it. I think in this case, and you are with someone that you've known for a short amount of time. However, you're getting married soon. At least what you can do for a gift to be safe, if you are doing a gift, which she's not obligated to do, maybe like a piece of jewelry. I mean, Virginia likes nice things and she looks nice. Like, you could just easily emulate things that she already has. I don't think she was expecting a basketball. She wasn't expecting a gift in general, but that gift scene was kind of weird. And I feel like he should have put the prenup in it. I feel like a part of the gift was missing. Where was the prenup right there? That would have been better for her and more customized to what Virginia wants. Because Virginia's admitted to not being sporty. I do think Virginia's in love. I feel like she really does love Devin. Now we get to the Bachelor and the Bachelorette parties. The Bachelor party is at Minnesota Vikings football practice facility. The Bachelorette party is at the Mall of America. It's like they closed down the whole Mall of America for the girls. The theme night for the girls is elderly. I've seen people do the elderly theme for Bachelorette parties before, but it was more so like you dress up like that and then you kind of go bar hopping or you go somewhere in public, where this was like the mall was shut down and they just kind of ride on a carousel, which I thought was weird, but it looked fun, I think. Like, the roller coasters looked fun. Mary-Kate and Ashley went to Mall of America, so I was super excited about that. If you've been following me, you know I love Mary-Kate and Ashley. We didn't really get that much footage from the girls during their Bachelorette party. The boys, they were having a lot of fun. They were with the Minnesota Vikings mascot, and they were, okay, I'm not very sporty as well. They were punting a ball or kicking the football. They were throwing the football in between the, that. Joey, I think, did really well. What's his name? Ben did really well. I can't remember what else. Daniel didn't get anything. Sorry, Daniel. So that was pretty much for the parties part. I feel like this year it's not as entertaining. Typically the girls go to some sort of like Magic Mike thing, which not necessarily I was trying to watch for, but I thought that was interesting. And then the guys do some sort of stadium type thing, which they did this time, but I thought we were kind of robbed. I feel like I should have seen a bit more. Back to Devin and Virginia. Devin finally has the prenup. I guess he brought it to his family attorney and specifically his parents for them to look over it. Is it just me, or did he seem like he was kind of surprised on how fair it was? He said the prenup seemed super fair. Any debts you have going into it, you keep. Devin said he felt okay with the prenup after his parents looked at it and they felt at ease. So now he feels good about it magically. He basically said the prenup is what you come into this marriage, you leave with. Virginia's been saying that this entire time. I don't know why he seemed kind of shocked about it, but yeah, that's basically what a prenup is. So he signs it and he gives it to her, and all is well. Now we get to a wedding day with no answers, but here are the top points that happen. So it's Sara and Ben's wedding day. Part of me is just kind of watching this with a side eye, because if you remember the trailer, Sara is running away in front of the SUV in her wedding gown, and we know it's her wedding gown now because of the way it looks, and she says, "Get me out of here." I'm curious who says no, but anyways, keep that in mind. So the whole episode, it felt kind of rushed, especially to not get an answer at the very end. Sarah's talking about Ben, and she mentions how Ben is literally everything she's hoped for, which is a lie. She just says nice things about him, And then her sister Lisa and Lisa's partner Kelsey come in. We see Sarah's mom. It's our first time seeing her because she wasn't able to come to the dress try-on for some reason. And then later on we also see Sarah's stepdad. I don't know his name. Ben lost some of his voice at the bachelor party. I guess he's kind of hoarse. It didn't really seem that bad to me. That was nothing compared to Taylor's voice in the pods when she lost hers. Sarah's mom was getting her makeup done in the girls' room, and she said that she's been texting Ben's mom. So I'm curious if there was some sort of family meet and greet that we didn't get to see. What's up with that? But I thought that was cute, you know, when the parents talk to each other type thing. Sarah told her mom that she went to church with Ben, and the mom said, if you go with him, will you go with me? Because remember, Sarah said she grew up in a conservative religious household. Lisa and Kelsey, that is Sarah's sister's partner, they're kind of like sitting next to each other whispering, we're too sober for this. Kelsey thinks that Sarah's gonna say yes. Lisa says Sarah is going to say yes to please everyone, but she wants Sarah to have a decision for herself. So I thought that was interesting. When Sarah's stepdad comes into the scene, it's apparent that he's known her since she was little, so I'm curious about that family dynamic. They also drink alcohol. I'm trying to figure out what religion that Sarah said that she grew up following, because it might not be Catholicism. I think I thought it was Catholicism, but they drink like champagne or something. If you are Catholic, like traditional hardcore, I guess, you cannot drink alcohol on your wedding day. I only know because that wedding that I was a part of, March of last year, it was a traditional Catholic wedding, and the bride, she wanted to drink before she walks down the aisle, but she could not, or the priest was going to cancel her ceremony. I was just curious about that, and I'm curious how Love is Blind navigates religions and weddings when it comes to the special day. Like, are they gonna get a specific priest? I'm sure they would, but I was just curious about that. So her stepdad is kind of saying all these nice things, that he's known Sarah since she was little. It's like she was little yesterday. Sarah's stepdad walks her down the aisle. It didn't seem like Sarah's stepdad had met Ben formally. I don't know. He kept asking Sarah questions like, how do you know he's the one? Are you sure about this? What's Ben like, type of thing. So I thought that was interesting. Just seems to be a lot of things that we didn't get to see. We also didn't see Ben meet Sarah's parents. I don't know, this just felt rushed. If it's a no, I'm not surprised. If it's a yes, I guess I'm not surprised either. Someone in my comments said Ben and Sarah deserve each other. I mean, at this point, you know, Ben, he's a little bit teary-eyed as Sarah walks down the aisle, which is a good sign in my opinion. It does seem like she's going to say yes, but per the trailer, I feel like she's going to say no, or something weird's going to happen. I don't know. I don't think they're going to get married. I don't think they're going to be a match. Ben says his vows, Sarah says her vows. After Sarah says her vows, Ben says, I almost kissed you. And Sarah said, we're going to, which low-key feels like she's going to say yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because you can still kiss after saying no at the altar. And remember, what's that girl's name who was with Izzy? She and Izzy kissed after saying no at the altar. It was like Love is Blind season 5 or something. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think about this episode in the comment section down below. Did you think that prenup was too late? What did you think about Devin's gift to Virginia? It was thoughtful, yeah? What did you think about the gifts? Do you think that Sarah and Ben are gonna get married? Who do you think is gonna say yes? Who do you think is gonna say no? I don't know. I am so ready for this next batch of episodes. But anyways, y'all, that is it. That is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!